Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to speak about conditional. There are three types of conditional. Conditional type 1, conditional type 2 and conditional type 3. We start by conditional type 1. When we speak about present and future activities and situations which are really possible. Tenses we need in conditional type 1. If plus simple present plus simple future, or simple future plus if plus simple present. Example: if he is better, he will come to school tomorrow. Or he will come to school tomorrow if he is better. If I pass my driving test next week, I will buy a little car. Or I will buy a little car if I pass my driving test next week. If they don't hurry, they will miss the plane. Or they will miss the plane if they don't hurry. If Fadel has enough money, he will go abroad next year. Or Fadel will go abroad next year if he has enough money. If they pass their baccalaureate, they will go to university. Or they will go to university if they pass their baccalaureate. If we don't have too much homework tomorrow, we will go out. Or we will go out tomorrow if we don't have too much homework. If her parents let her, Fatem Zahra will go to America next year. Or Fatem Zahra will go to America next year if her parents let her. Now we are going to see conditional type 2. When we imagine the consequences of our present or future activities and situations which are not very probable or which don't even exist. Tenses we need: if plus simple past plus would plus do. Would do plus if plus simple past. Example: if I broke my mother's clock, she would be very angry. Or my mother would be very angry if I broke her clock. If they lost their way, they would ask somebody to help them. Or they would ask somebody to help them if they lost their way. If my car broke down, I would have to walk to the office. Or I would have to walk to the office if my car broke down. If they lived in Casablanca, they would go to the cinema more often. Or they would go to the cinema more often if they lived in Casablanca. If we want to live in England, we would learn English very quickly. Or we would learn English very quickly if we want to live in England. If I were older, I would be able to drive a car. Or I would be able to drive a car if I were older. If I were you, I would go to bed earlier. Or I would go to bed earlier if I were you. If he were rich, he would buy a big house. Or he would buy a big house if he were rich. If she were a doctor, she would help sick people. Or she would help sick people if she were a doctor. Now we are going to see conditional type 3. When sometimes we do things which we regret afterwards. Tenses we need: if plus past perfect plus would have plus past participle. Would have plus past participle plus if plus past perfect. Examples: if Hassania had come to school yesterday, she would have done the test. Or Hassania would have done the test if she had come to school yesterday. If I had known his address, I would have called to see him last week. Or I would have called to see him last week if I had known his address. If his boss had given him a holiday, he would have gone to Agadir. Or he would have gone to Agadir if his boss had given him a holiday. If they had taken a map with them, they wouldn't have lost their way. Or they wouldn't have lost their way if they had taken a map. If you hadn't given us a lift yesterday, we would have been late home. Or, we would have been late home if you hadn't given us a lift yesterday. The last sentence, if she hadn't worked hard, she wouldn't have passed the exam. Or, she wouldn't have passed the exam if she hadn't worked hard. At the end, I hope that you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. See you soon in my next video. Bye bye.